Okay, I'm going to try to show you how to make one of these reusable sanitary cloths. It's a trifold.
That's terrible.
With a strap in the back so you can secure it to your underwear. So first we need our base. I found that you don't have to use the 8.5 by 8.5 square that some patterns say. So here is the pattern that I use, the pattern that was used for this pad right here, and here's a base. So the pattern that I use is 8 inches by 7.5 inches, and you'll need 2 pieces of this. This is the flannel on the outside that you see, the 2 pieces right there. I also cut this with pinking shears, these scissors right here with the jagged edges, so that I don't have to finish the edges. They're already finished. So that's the base, the 2 pieces of flannel. Then next is you'll need 1 piece for the middle absorption part. 6 7/8 by 2 3/4. Basically you want this just to be a little smaller than this. I cut that with regular scissors. The kind that I like the best is Warm and Natural quilt batting. This is a piece of it. You only need 1 piece. It's super absorbent, and whenever you combine it with the 2 layers of flannel or the 2 layers of what you're using, then you have triple absorption there. So this piece is in the middle of these 2 pieces of flannel right here. The cutting, the lengths do not have to be right on the measurement. It can be off just a little bit. So as you can see here, you just want it to be just inside here to be able to have the absorbency layer, but be able to have the 3 folds. So that's the middle. Then this back strap, you'll see that this one is a little larger than the one I've made the template for. Just barely a little bit wider. You're going to want to do 7 inches long though. That way it meets nicely in the middle and will go all the way around the underwear. You only need 1 piece of this, and you want it to coordinate with your outer piece because that's where it is on the outside on the back. I also do it with the pinking shears so I don't have to finish the edges. Now if you have a serger or you'd like to finish the edges, of course that's always a possibility. And I've used Velcro on this, and this is adhesive back Velcro that I haven't yet secured with a line through it, sewing a line through it, but I will. But I don't really recommend adhesive back Velcro because it gums up your sewing machine needle. What I really am going to try and recommend are snaps. With the coupon you can get them relatively cheap. At the craft store you can get a installation tool and the snaps, and then you would put these here, and so they can snap it back there instead of the Velcro. But nonetheless, you would put the Velcro on one side here and the Velcro on the other side here. That way when you wrap it around you have that. So you have your template here, and I mostly just put this on the flannel and cut around it. You can cut it in strips if you know that you're going to be doing mass production. So you basically just want to get your flannel and lay it down. If you have a template, lay it on top. If you want to measure with the ruler, that's fine too. But you throw it on top, and you can see I've traced before where this is remnant material. But you just throw it on top like this, cut around it with your pinking shears, and Like I said before, the measurements do not have to be exact. You do want it to be pretty and square, but the measurements aren't exact. Now obviously this is a remnant piece of material. I would be a little more aesthetically pleasing if I was doing this as a gift. But basically you just cut your edges. So where you have all 4 sides done. And then you have your 2 pieces here. And you've cut your warm and natural batting. So I take 1 piece and put it right here on the wrong side of the fabric. And then I zigzag stitch around this to hold it down so it doesn't move, and it gives it some movement with the zigzag stitch. It doesn't hold it straight there with a straight line stitch. That way, you know, when it gets wet and when it dries, it can contract and expand. But I take this on the wrong side of the fabric and I zigzag stitch it. As you can see, I've done this one. So yes, the zigzag stitch will show through on this side, but that's okay. So I zigzag stitch just inside the line there around here to secure that. I like to pin it when I do it because this is it will move on you because of it being such a stretchy material. And you want it to stay in the middle, and you don't want it to bunch up, because if it bunches up, then that would be very uncomfortable and it won't lay flat, and it just wouldn't be a good thing. So you put this here, zigzag stitch around it to secure it. When you've got that, then you'll take your other piece of flannel that you have, put it on top here, and secure it with pins all the way around. And you don't have to secure this one as much, but it does move. If you've ever sewn before, then you know that. So you put it, and then how I start is with 2 lines down. You can feel that right there. And then of course whenever you get it, you're going to have your zigzag stitch on the outside, so you can see that. So then I take and do a straight stitch down each side of that to secure that, and it also creates the folds for you. So I go right beside of my zigzag stitch down this way on each side of the middle padding. So you would sew straight down each side here, and then I sew around the outside of the square with a straight stitch, and then you're basically finished. And when you get these stitches sewn, the zigzag will be to the inside and the back will look pretty like this, and that will create your folds for you. Okay, so then you have the fold. I read a lot of material on this, and they really like the square shaped trifold sanitary cloths, because whenever you wash these and you're hanging them out on the clothesline to dry, they look like washcloths. They don't look like menstruation pads. So this is the kind I like. And plus, these are a lot easier to sew. For me, I'm not a novice sewer, but I'm not an advanced sewer for sure. So these are a lot easier for me to sew, and you can produce these relatively fast because of their simplicity. So anyways, that creates your folds once you do that, and then you're done with this, right? But you need to sew this strapping on the back. So I just take that strapping, and I do put, most of the time I put it on in advance. I had been putting it on here, and if you want, when you sew these down, if you're that advanced of a sewer, you can go ahead and pin this on the back, so whenever you do these lines down, then you catch this as well. Sometimes I do that, and sometimes I put it on later. It just depends on my mood, I guess. So, if you've already done that and you already have this on here, then you have it, and then you can put the snaps on or the Velcro on later. Or if you haven't done that yet, then if you already have done that, sorry, then you're done, right? I definitely recommend running over this with a stitch to lock it in if you use the Velcro and adhesive back. But you basically line it up in the middle this way and in the middle this way. So you have equal amounts on the sides, secure it down, and then you have your pad.